Hey, so looks like we're live and ready to dive into the Asylum once more. Batman Arkham Asylum. We are returning to that wonderful game in part 2 following a crazy couple of weeks at our house. But I fancy maybe an hour or so just to celebrate the fact that I can actually just take an hour or so today to play this game. Yeah, on the last stream, it took quite a while to figure out how to get into the mansion, Arkham Mansion. But I think I was a bit brain befuddled by then. It was like 2 in the morning or something. But here we are in the mansion entrance hall.
Yeah, the stinking coward limped off, cape between his legs. If he tried to
Cape
blow
between his
his arm,
legs.
he wouldn't stand a chance.
Yeah, me too. I'd rip his head off and give it to Joker for a paperweight.
I do love the conversations in this game.
Boss.
What's that supposed to mean?
You heard me.
Off we go. Now, interestingly, this section of the game always, and I think it's probably designed to elicit a sort of response and a memory of the Arkham Asylum graphic novel, the most famous one, A Serious House on a Serious Earth. It has that feeling of a converted home, and yeah, well, you know, a very big home that's been converted. But in so many ways, this game is the story of the Arkham family, and you end up with, as you pick up the spirit of Arkham backstory, you end up with quite a picture of especially Amadeus Arkham and his struggles, and how the family have almost taken on a sort of a religious mission, a sort of a self-punishment almost, in taking care of, if you want to call it taking care of, the city's criminally insane inhabitants. It's gothic. It's I don't know. There's martyrdom going on there. There's all sorts of stuff happening, and it's all caked in the madness, which is very appropriate. Now, into the vent. Electrical hazard, keep locked. Okay, I will keep that locked. I will abide by that rule. Nice explodable wall there. Let's get out our explosive gel. And here we are, Spirit of Arkham. Another one of the tales. Isn't that how there we go. Chronicle of Arkham.
As Gotham's veins
Spirit of Arkham.
slowly filled with pain and suffering, the effects were felt everywhere. My father fell first, infected by some foul disease. My mother lived...
Joker here with a little update for you all. First, the good news. We have Dr. Young. Bad news, she's not talking. She's in the documents somewhere in the mansion. I want it found.
Okay.
I've got a plan or 6 to loosen her tongue, but in the meantime, search every cook and granny as a prize for whoever finds them.
I need to find those notes before Joker does.
Every cook and granny instead of nook and cranny. Yeah, it's a shame that the Joker's voiceover there, his tannoy announcement interrupts the backstory that we were getting. Let's see if we can open that again up again. No.
We've been looking for ages. It's not here.
I completely forgot where the menu is.
Could be any.
Resume game options. View controls. It's select. Oh, it's on select. Okay, cool. So let's go to character bios. No. And there. I want to listen to the deciphered messages. If we can go through them. Facts. There we go.
As Gotham's veins slowly filled with pain and suffering, the effects were...
It's not here.
Ah! It went away again because someone started speaking. Oh, it's like I pressed B. Ah!
This is stupid.
I don't remember it being interrupted all the time like that. Speaking of interrupting, sorry boys. Hi Freeze, I'm Batman. Quote George Clooney.
Don't let him hit you, you idiot.
Oh, leg break. Crotch punch there. Another you have to break all the legs, Batman. Yes, I do. Okay, let's see if we can get that playing again, because I wanted to listen to it, darn it. There we go. There we go. Number 3.
As Gotham's veins slowly filled with pain and suffering, the effects were felt everywhere. My father fell first, infected by
there's
some
Amadeus.
foul disease. My mother lived on, but only in a dream. I returned to the family home to care for her, where she remained in her bed for as long as her body continued to breathe. Her tears kept me awake at night.
He sounds like a paragon of sanity, doesn't he? The perfect person to take on the task of looking after Gotham's insane. But yeah, so this whole idea of this house being given over to Arkham Mansion being given over to that, and also in some ways it's a parallel to Wayne Mansion, isn't it? Or Wayne Manor rather, the Arkham Mansion. This idea of great families or wealthy families in the city having to face up to the nature, the soul of Gotham is quite a powerful one. That's some Acme tech there, isn't it? Probably for scanning weapons in and out of the south wing, I guess. Oh, Commissioner Gordon. I do believe they go Riddle
Could have been
Souls.
solved by a monkey, but good job nevertheless.
Oh, could have been solved by a monkey. Laughing teeth. Oh, hello, Willem Dafoe's Fruitcake. Good evening. This evening won't be a very long playthrough. Just an hour or so, maybe an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. I just wanted to get back to it after a little break. Well, an enforced break. Definitely the best way to look at over the insane is to be insane yourself. Yeah, well, it's interesting actually. At the beginning of the Nightfall saga, is it Josiah Arkham by that point? The person who was administrator at that point is definitely questioning his sanity, and I think he's been having private conversations with the Joker at that point. So he's there writing in a diary, you know, sometimes you can feel the insanity dripping through the walls, this kind of thing. He's thinking, yeah, not a great person to be looking after these people. Commissioner Gordon looks old in this game than all the others. He does, doesn't he? Maybe he's just got good genes. You know, he de-ages as he goes. I love the fact that they're all just searching.
Welcome to the Arkham Library.
Again, it's
History is so important.
very appropriate for the setting in the story.
There. Try anyone crazy.
It's funny, I know I mentioned this probably in my previous live stream, but it's funny how the scale of this game is so important to how it plays. It unfolds in a very particular way, and in that sense it's not really an open world game in the same way that Arkham City is. And even Arkham City is a very tightly controlled sandbox in terms of the way that I don't know, for example, payphones in that game are used as a story element, aren't they? But in this game, yeah, everything you do, you can do in a way. It's almost sort of Metroid in that sense, but it's much more linear than Metroid.
Go downstairs and save the helpless hostages.
Right. It's like the Benjamin Button of the Arkhamverse. Yes, exactly. Exactly. One day he'll just be a babby running the police department. No comment from Nigma on that trophy. A monkey could have found that one.
Reading the last page first? Shame on you! Well, here's the punchline. 2 minutes and a few gas goes boom. Permanently cheering up those visceral doctors. Tick tock, tick tock.
Where from here? Oh, okay. 2 minutes and the hostages go boom. That's spiders' webs in the air vents. Oddly enough. Okay, we need to smash the floor. What better way to do that than with a chandelier? Sorry, Arkham Mansion.
Batman, we're tied up. We can't get out.
1 minute 30 to go.
I love how he automatically stops himself with his cape.
Already. Maybe I should just press the button and... Only joking.
Thank you, Batman. Are they all gone?
Yes.
Yes, you're safe.
What happened?
It all happened so fast. Some patients broke in, began tearing up the place, like they were looking for something. Bill here fought back, but there were too many. They took Dr. Young. She rushed in here and they followed.
I'm sorry. When I came to, we were all tied up. Doc Young was gone.
Okie dokie. I love that all the books are bound with the Arkham Asylum AA logo, but also I think that's a mirrored version of the of Arkham Island. I think this will always be your favourite Arkham game. I think this it probably is my favourite. That said, though, there are parts of Arkham City that I very much appreciate. Arkham City and this game vie for my favourite of the two, of the two, of the 3 or 4, depending on how you want to count them. Arkham Knight, I just can't quite bring myself to finish. I'm about, I think, about 20% of the way into that game on the PlayStation 4. And I don't know. There's something about it. It's not as much. It's not as, again, not as satisfying in some ways as this game is. But maybe that's my own failing. Maybe I should pay a bit more. Invest a bit more time in that game, and I might get through it a bit more readily. think. Display cases, everything. It all feels like a house that has absolutely been turned over to an institution, but it's also, you know, the stacks of papers everywhere. I don't think this is the result of people searching. I think this is the result of just years and years of just underfunding, you know, and so they literally are keeping paperwork, files stacked up in these. First of all, presumably in these filing cabinets, and then eventually just in little piles everywhere. Incidentally, this is the answer to a riddle. The penguin's a selection of umbrellas there, and his top hat. No monocle. It would have been nice to see a monocle, but
Easy, isn't it? Well, we'll see.
we'll see. We'll see.
What's going on?
Yes. There we go. Ah. Oh. Oh no! So I thought he was out for the count. Of course, there was no ending animation like that. I should have known. Should have known. Should have known better. Oh, I see another trophy. Yeah, I'm definitely not struggling to get into Night for some reason. Arkham Origins, you were pretty crap at Origins. I don't think I was necessarily bad at it.
My respect,
Um,
Detective. I'll let you help me find my socks if you keep this up.
and I kind of liked the I think I might be preempting something here. It's one of those weird things where if you're familiar with the games and then you try and do things out of order that you can't do yet. We'll see. Yeah, I, mean, I quite enjoyed some of the stuff that they did with Troy Baker's version of young Joker and this kind of thing. I didn't like their version of young Bane because that was didn't seem to be. I couldn't see how that character would become the character that we've fought already earlier in this game. So in some ways, for me, Origins felt a bit disconnected. But I did love the Christmas theme. I loved the sort of the menu on that game with the Christmas lights in the city. It's that was quite pleasing. Okay, let's go through here.
We're in control. Where did she go? I don't know. Answer me!
There's the beetle there carved into the wooden screen just above.
Are you looking to die? Are you?
That's the same beetle that's on the Arkham, Spirits of Arkham plaques. Hello, Mateo. Hello. Probably rotting in amongst a load of games and unwatched DVDs. Yeah, tell me about it. Tell me about it. I've got a heck of a backlog. And actually, that's one of the things that I've been thinking about instigating recently. Is actually a very specific day of the month when I can very specifically play those games that I'm otherwise never going to get around to playing, you know? Because at the moment we've got
What's that collar do?
I've got about 900 and something.
It's the suicide collar, but it sounds weird.
Suicide collar.
Well, they've got some other name, but, well, we just use them to monitor patients' heartbeats. If it drops too low, the alarm goes off and a crash team rushes in.
Okay.
And so does my crew if you trigger one. How do you like them apples, bats? Standing around in the... let's see... the West Wing. They'd be there now if they weren't busy knocking a little sense into cash. I'll tell you what. I won't spoil the surprise and let them know you're coming.
Okie dokie. Yeah, sorry, so I've just checked on my library app. I've got 573 games and we've got 939 movies, and that's not counting digital versions of stuff. And especially on the Xbox 360, towards the end of that console's life cycle, I was able to get so many games that I'd wanted to play for a while for dirt cheap, and then suddenly I was distracted by the Switch, or something else was happening, or work, or etc. etc. And so I've decided that I'd like to sort of implement a sort of a day of the month when I very specifically play games that I haven't played before from my own collection. So I'm thinking, for example, Borderlands, Borderlands, the pre-sequel, as well. There is there's loads of stuff. Dishonored. I've got the special edition of Dishonored, and I really want to play that game properly. Fully finish it. I started it, but never got around to finishing it. So maybe one day of the month, maybe 2 days of the month, when I pick out a game and I play it, just to see whether or not I want to return to it, whether or not I want to give more time to that game. I think that might be a good idea. Oh no! No, I didn't mean to do that. I got stuck on the corner. Rats. Rats. I'm gonna get killed. Yeah. Nice ragdolling, Batman. Nice ragdolling.
Someone help Bat Baby up off the floor.
The voice acting's really good in the game with some of the elements, but I just found it pretty annoying and very samey in comparison to Arkham City. Yes, no, I agree. And also, actually, again, there were some inconsistencies in the map between Arkham Origins and Arkham City, definitely. Omnix Revan. Well, the Bat Family game. Yes, absolutely. And in some ways, this I think they've really learned how to make good Batman games, and I'm curious about the Arkham Knights game that's coming out. But this game was such a love letter to the history of Batman, to the Rogues Gallery, all of the little clues in the cells that you can come across. Some, as they say, some deep cuts when it comes to references, and references are one of those things that are just irresistible, I think, to nerds. Oh, I'm not usually this. Oh, come on, Batman. Has that been enough to... Okay, so they're on high alert. Particularly nervous. It's okay though.
I gave you a couple of simple tasks. Make cash talk, find Dr. Young and her notes. Has anyone actually checked?
How cool is that? How cool is that? The ability to hang from the gargoyle.
Joker, it's probably got a bomb in it.
Where are you? Here. Oh no.
Dusty old room full
Hit the
of books,
bookcase.
guarded anyway.
Let's just crawl around then. Where'd he go? Where'd the guy? Oh, he must have climbed the ladder. I can climb the ladder as well. There we go. Silent takedown.
Come on, find him.
Seamless. Seamless.
How hard can it be?
I mean, it's also a bit sort of Alice in Wonderland, isn't it? The way that these, because that's not remotely a sensible way of stacking your information. But it's all a bit, well, again, it's sort of Alice in Wonderland, Tim Burton, sort of quirky gothic as much as anything else. And that particular character that Gotham City has, because after all, one of the things that you have to wonder, why on earth do people put up with living in a city, being such close proximity to such infamously dangerous people? And there's been a couple of interesting videos on YouTube examining examining the whole thing of, you know, people. I think someone did one actually about the Joker movie, Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, and there's this sort of bias that people have in terms of, you know, oh, it'll never happen to me, and you know, sometimes finances come into it, and something in a place like Gotham City, it's clear that people often can't necessarily afford to just move away, you know, so they put up with the danger. But I think part of it has to be the character that's reflected in just simple things like the way that all these, you know, obviously these drawers have been opened by the goons searching, but I can't believe that. Oh, I don't suspect that the goons have stacked up the filing cabinets like this. You know, it speaks of a city that's almost always on the brink of being slightly insane already, and then again, you know, who can blame them? Yeah, they're terrorized by people like the Joker all the time, so of course they're going to be a bit weird. It's going to be a strange city to live in, isn't it? You're doing better than me in these sections. I practically spend an hour in the rafters picking out what I was going to do, taking a million years to actually do it. Yeah, I've definitely been there. Definitely, I think I'm feeling a little bit of pressure to sort of play at some speed, you know, to be vaguely entertaining as we go, kind of thing. Just like the stacks and stacks of forms and papers. Precisely. Yeah, precisely. And so I think, in that sense, again, this game is just such a tightly, well-designed, beautiful thing. I love it.
Over here!
Rescue Aaron Cash. Batman Assault on Arkham. I have.
Dr. Young go? I told her to run. These guys came in looking for her. I told her to go to her office and hide.
Does she keep her records there?
I guess. She was pretty desperate to get in there. Her office is over there.
How long ago was this? I need to find her notes before Joker gets his hands on them.
20 minutes, maybe more. What's so important about the notes?
Joker wants them. That makes them important. Stay here. I'm going to find her.
Not a problem. I'll try the radio, see if anyone else is around.
It's probably more than 20 minutes because of the amount of faffing I did.
Thanks for the help back there.
And getting
Central
shot
Control,
up.
please respond.
Is this the office over here?
Arkham Control.
Yes, Assault on Arkham I have seen, and also actually there's a I've forgotten what they're called now. There's a series of, there were some comics that were produced, but they were put into trade hardbacks, and they turned up in a local cash converters that I picked up recently. Well, I say recently. Again, 2020 is just erased a year, hasn't it? Early this year, I picked up those books, which were also canon, and they were, I think it was something called. It was something basically setting the scene actually for Arkham City. I think. Yes, Assault on Arkham's pretty good. I quite like that one. Again, I think Troy Baker does Joker in that
Going after the notes yourself,
iteration.
Bats. Good luck. I've got a crew working over the doctor as I speak. They'll squeeze the formula out of us soon enough. Not to mention the army of clowns ripping this place apart. One way or another, the formula will be mine. Why don't you just give up? Go on.
Now this. Was this the? No, it's not. Again, I'm thinking this is somewhere else. I need to. No, this is it. Yes, there you go. This with the beetle above the door. Beetles above the door. This is one of the rooms that I think is very significant to the history of the Arkham family. The bed with the straps on it. And did Amadeus go mad, or was he just dizzy? It's all this spinning writing on the walls that you can't quite read, unfortunately. That's a shame. But yes, Amadeus did go mad, and his family locked him in one of these rooms. Anyway, on we go. Onward. Oh no, let's go back. Back the way we came. I've always wanted to have a grapnel like that you could just go, I want to be up there now. Fly up. Yeah, in Assault on Arkham, I like the portrayal of most of the characters. Captain Boomerang, I think, is pretty cool, actually, for once in that film, in that animated movie. Obviously, Harley is quite amusing, although she's part of that recent tendency to to overtly
Arkham Control, do you copy?
sexualize her. And I don't say that in a overly prudish, complaining kind of way. But I think one of the interesting things about the character of Harley is, yes, she's always been sexy, but the main thing you notice about her is just how insane she is. And then, you know, when she's pretending to be hack super. Oh, of course, we can't get in there till we can hack it. Which way is the office? Did you say? Ah! So I did enjoy her character in the film, but things like having her decide to strip half nude to distract the guard. It's one of those things that's a little bit, you know, that's clearly for the viewer as much as for the guard, isn't it? This kind of thing, which is fine. It's fine. But I quite like the classic Harley, you know, in the sort of the onesie, you know, covered head to toe in just black and red fabric. Oddly enough, I always found her more interesting, more sexy, if you will, more attractive, than necessarily the Margot Robbie take on things. Though, of course, you'd be insane not to want to spend some time with Margot Robbie, wouldn't you? Oh, that version of Harley. Yeah, maybe not in her cell, because she might just strangle you. Where is the bloomin' office? It must be through this door. I just made a wrong turn. I loved the way that Batman proceeds through that story as well. There's a twist at the end-ish, which is you can sort of see coming if you're watching carefully, which I won't spoil if people haven't seen it, but I quite like that. Right, yes. Okay, so we've been in there. Through this door, that's it. No. Apparently not. Intriguing. If we drop down here, this just takes us into the cells, which is not. Now we need to be. Check our map. It is through that door, though, that we need to be. Maybe we need to go out and back in through that room, through the main hall. Yeah, let's try that. Let us try that.
We need assistance. Over.
The Val Kilmer run with the very stiff head and neck. And it's up here. We can get up here. We can't. Dr. Young. So yes, I was trying to preempt going up the bell tower in this, but I completely forgot about trying to get into Dr. Young's office. How do we get in there? Nice security system, very sensible in an institution where incredibly violent inmates are known to break out regularly.
Arkham Control, can you hear me?
Yeah, I love the whole sort of nobody gets to kill bats but me sort of take on things.
Hello?
Right, I must be missing. I'm missing something obvious. I know I am. Maybe there's an explodable wall. Locked. Up there. There we go, that's more like it. Look at this, the vaulted ceiling, the way that they've sort of the later infrastructure has sort of created this false ceiling, as they often do in older buildings. You'll have these sort of this horrible styrofoam ceiling ceiling panels in offices and this kind of thing. You love most of the DT animated movies, especially the last two with Constantine. Yeah, yes, I agree. I think actually for a long time the DC animated game, as in the studio's ability to do well, that game was excellent. They were really definitely outdoing anything that Marvel were doing in terms of animated output. And there were so many great stories that were right there for the telling. If only the DCEU could just get over itself and stop trying to be a series before it was a series of stories. If so, I mean. Most of them I like. A couple of them I was a bit disappointed by. I think I've talked about
Joker on the cell. You can give him your excuses.
The Killing Joke, for example, on a previous video on this channel. That's not great. But yes, they're all pretty good. And the Constantine, I think we got, was it City of Demons or something? We got that not that long ago. That was fun. Definitely. The rivals the Biscuit proximity alarm in terms of useless security systems. That rivals the Biscuit proximity alarm in terms of useless security systems. Interesting. I'm not sure what the Biscuit proximity alarm is, but I'm curious. Right. Okay. Sorry, guys. I just like to see the skeletons. Oh no, actually, that's right. Yes, because you can do a quick grab, can't you? With the, there we go. You double tap the right trigger, pull baddies towards you. There's always something strange about the art of
get into that office.
uniform. It's like
it looks like they couldn't get through the main door. Got to find a different way in.
Yes, we have got to find a different way in. Yes, it is, isn't it? It is like a grim exaggeration of our world, and that's something that I've always underlined, underscored several times in red pen, been drawn to. It's in that sense, it's both a bit scary, but also actually I find it a little bit reassuring because it kind of reminds you that this is an exaggerated world, and so that means that they can afford to be a bit scary. What's rattling around? Oh, the bin's rattling. Stop rattling, bin. Stop. You're annoying. The bin isn't going to stop rattling. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so that means that gives them license to be a bit more grim and gothic and a little bit like as I was sort of sort of reflecting on Gotham City just before. I definitely find myself thinking, I'm not sure I'd want to live in Gotham. As much as I would like to explore it and to experience it, I don't think I would want to live there. And that's interesting. It also actually comes up in the Batman versus the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Nice. Dead rats. Nice. One rat seemingly ate the other. We have a contrast in terms of how ninjas behave in their respective cities, and also actually in the second book, which I'm yet to finish reading and then hopefully talk about. What's that bottle doing just here? Is someone a secret alcoholic and hiding bottles in the bins? In the second book, you have Bane going into the world of the Turtles, which again is going to be an interesting comparison between that dark, gritty world that Bane's come from and the slightly more bouncy version of, a major East Coast city, i.e. New York or Gotham, that the turtles come
already got to the safe. The only question now is, who opened it? No sign of forced entry. Whoever opened it knew the combination.
Yes, Matt Ryan is definitely the better
Let's see.
Constantine, without a doubt.
Good.
Well, he's
Dr.
Hellraiser.
Young got to her notes before Joker. She's taken them to hide somewhere. I need to follow her and find out where she put them.
Internal monologue. I like that. It'd be weird if his lips were moving then. Yes, Matt Ryan. He's a wonderful Welsh actor, a brilliant voice, very determined look, and he carries off the sarcasm and the cynicism of John Constantine extremely well. And actually in the TV series, which flits between being available and unavailable on Amazon Prime all the time. In the TV series, I love how they build up the whole, what happened in Newcastle, because I live now in Newcastle as much as I'm from North Wales. It's quite good fun to think that John Constantine had a life-changing run-in with evil in this city.
Oracle, I'm on Dr. Young's trail. I've had to calibrate the scanner to only show recent prints. If I follow these, I will find her or the notes.
I hope it works. Just so you know, the GCPD found one of Joker's bombs downtown. It was full of marzipan and kittens.
As I thought, it's just a twisted diversion. The real action's on Arkham.
Okie dokie. Also, my lovely wife much prefers him as well. Yes, Black Masks. Is it actually Black Masks? Black Mask? It is Black Masks. Black Mask. I wonder if that's the answer to a riddle. Oh, it's not quite Black Masks. Black Mask. How do you mask your feelings without losing control? Oh, it is Black Masks. Black Mask. It's made of wood, interestingly. Cool. Yes, my lovely wife loves Matt Ryan as well. She unashamedly calls him Hottie. No, sorry, Totty. And she likes the fact that he voices as well. Voices Constantine in the animated iterations. Now, there's a little Easter egg that we've just missed here, and when I'm done with these guys, I'll take a look at it, which is quite pleasing. Such a rabbit's warren of a building, isn't it? And again, that speaks to a building, unlike, for example, the relatively ordered treatment wing that we went into, with all the lines on the floor and spaces set out here and there fairly carefully, which clearly had undergone various iterations. There's been an older version of that, and then a more modern version built within it. This building, being such a rabbit's warren, is because it wasn't designed initially to be an office building for a complex and an asylum. Now, indeed, this building originally was a home, then it became the whole asylum itself, and then it became primarily the office and administrative space for the whole site, which is quite cool. Possibly a replica. Yes, possibly. Yeah, that could be it. So it could be maybe an early iteration of Black Mask's mask, potentially. Yeah, it's a real shame the show got cancelled. I was really gutted to realise that when we got to the end. I was like, they could have gone somewhere, but Ra's al Ghul. And quite pleasingly, later on in the game, when you pass through here, the body is gone. And has Ra's been reborn? Well, in this series of games, yes, Ra's is in fact immortal.
Patient interview 1. Patient was referred to me after the incident with Dr. Murphy. He appears to have suffered a breakdown of sorts. I believe it was brought about after the loss of his wife and child. As yet, the patient has been unable to speak. Continued observation shows little mental activity. It's as if the shock of what he saw triggered his mental collapse.
There's someone in here! It's him. We found him. Break down the door!
So that's now we're leaving the entrance to Dr. Young's office.
Difficult to continue my research under such conditions.
Fingerprints?
Stay away from Dr. Cole! Now! Get down on the ground! We found them. Someone get a medic. God, what's he done to us?
So that sounded like it was Scarecrow doing his old job and, as it were, interviewing presumably someone who wasn't a patient. So maybe he was the patient and he had sort of turned the tables on the professional who's meant to be interviewing him. At least I think that's what was going on. I was half listening. Follow the fingerprints, Batman. It's good that she touches everything on the way out, isn't it? I put my hand here. And here and here. and here and here. And here. And here. And all of these places. Here. Where's she gone now? Intriguing. Oh, here we go. Here and here. Okay, I'll stop saying it now. I'm not sure I would put my hand in all those places as I walk through that sort of hall. This fiendish puzzle literally appears out of thin air. It's interesting. Oh, I think I know what's going on. We need to sort of try and solution partially detected. Can we get up onto the... Oh, nice little dot on the air vent there, which is invisible unless you had detective vision on. Nice. And then what we'll do is and riddle solved.
Another one of the easy ones. Don't feel too proud, Batman.
It's interesting, isn't it? There's the chair, and there's a tablet just there.
My journey lasted little over a month. Visiting academics in both Metropolis and Keystone, I was exposed to a wealth of new ideas. I began my day returning home in good spirits, eager to see my wife and family. I ended it kneeling in their blood, broken fragments of my life, pouring through dripping red fingers.
Yes, Arkham's story doesn't end well. Kevin Conroy, Rachel Al Ghul, Christian Bell, Ra's al Ghul. Yes, or Rachel Al Ghul. Yeah. Apparently, it is. There's a. No, that's it. It's in the Batman versus the TMNT, isn't it? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, where you get to hear what I think Mikey thinks Batman is saying when he says Raz or Ra's al Ghul, and he says, who is this Ra's? It's sort of in a what's the word? Phonetic way. He says, "Who is this Ra's al Ghul?" So it is Ra's. And also, I've heard and seen it said elsewhere that it's meant to be Ra's al Ghul. I always thought it was Ra's al Ghul, but
I heard a voice on one of the radios. It sounded like they were being told to meet in the warden's office.
Interesting. Also, I've stopped for fingerprints. No, Batman. Oh, I just want you to go there. No. Right, there. This floor. Fingerprints, okay. Do they go down? They do go down. Oh, I think yes, she's hidden it, hasn't she, in the library space? Whatever it is that she's hidden. which is quite clever. There we go.
Oracle, I found Dr. Young's formula.
Great. So does that mean you've stopped Joker?
It's never this simple with him.
What's that you got there, Bat? No, not the formula. What am I going to do? Who can help me now? What's that? How about our old friend Zaz?
Oh.
No doubt he was acting out some twisted fantasy. Maybe he could get her talking? I think he probably can. Great plan, Bats.
Notice the gas pumping through there. Because we're about to have a trippy time. Yes, exactly, yeah. Raish. Or Raicha. As opposed to Raz. Definitely. This caught me off guard the first time I played it. Because I was like, why is the corridor so long? And then it starts to rain. And what's really cool, and yeah, this is something that now Bloober Team gets a lot of praise for. You know, changing environments. But I suppose they do it much more quickly literally on a turn. You can turn and the whole world has changed behind you. In this instance, the room slowly changes and they're having to mask it with a flash, you know, of lightning or something, or a flash of awareness. But it's clever. It's very clever, isn't it? And you said, yeah, hopefully Bruce has the presence of mind to realise.
I can't believe you insisted on sitting through that movie again, Bruce. Come
why
on.
He's seeing all
We'll
this.
be late for Alfred.
I'm sorry, Daddy.
Go easy on him, Tom. He loved it so. Alfred will wait. Keep up, Bruce.
And so that we get now trash cans and more water. Crime alley sign.
Where are you taking us?
We can cut through here.
But it's starting to rain. Bruce is tired.
And look at that.
Can't we just wait
Look at
for
that.
him here?
Come on, keep
Wonderful.
up.
I mean, you can't go back now, but suddenly we start to get the brick texture on the wall becoming buildings. But also, we've still got clear indications of the fact that we're in the Arkham mansion as well. And then suddenly, it's as though we're passing under a railway bridge or something instead of a stone archway. And we're definitely in a street.
There's no need for this.
Stay where you are. I'll shoot.
I'll give you whatever you want.
Tom! Oh God, Tom!
Be quiet, lady. Just shut up.
They really are scary, aren't they?
Mommy!
It's so disorientating. It's always struck me as amazing that Bruce has never lost it in front of Scarecrow to the point that he completely... that's a cool image, is it not? Hence I used it in the thumbnail. That he's never lost it completely to the point that he's just revealed everything about himself and his backstory and his tragedy and in that sense, you know, secret identity and all that. It's quite remarkable that. Well, no, he has slipped up here and there. That's true. But in this, you know, this is clearly him having a tremendous freak out, and almost anything could happen. You would think, wouldn't you?
Come on, kid. This way. Take a seat in my office.
Is he okay? He'll be fine. Kid like that with all that money, he'll be just fine.
Shut up, now. He's 8 years old and all alone. Money won't fix that.
Whatever you say, Gordon. His butler's on his way to pick him up. You hear that? He's got a butler.
I'm sorry about that. I just need to ask you some questions. Can I get you anything? You okay? I know you don't feel like answering me, but it's the only way to catch who did this.
It's fantastic. It really is fantastic. One reviewer described the Scarecrow segments as you don't really know the Scarecrow's there until the chandeliers start to resemble your father's Willie.
Call me Jim.
I think it does show Bruce's willpower. And look, see now, so now he's back to being Bruce, but this is still behind him. Again, it's because of the fact that this isn't Arkham City, because this is Arkham Asylum, they can have these very tightly controlled, symbolically rich portions of the game. It's very satisfying. There we go. And now everything has changed. And I did miss this sort of thing in Arkham City. I definitely did. But then again, they put in so many other cool things into that game. Okay, come on, bro. Duck. Okay, run. Oh! Ah! He got me.
And at the end of fear, oblivion.
Yeah, so it's so lovely that our dog is resting tonight. So in the past couple of weeks, you may have seen in the previous Arkham Asylum live stream that my lovely wife had just been taken into hospital. Oh. And she came out a couple of weeks ago now. 12 days ago, I think, or something like that. And is it now? It's almost 3 weeks. I'm losing slightly track of time. Anyway, so she's starting to feel better, and she had major surgery out of nowhere. It was emergency surgery. She's starting to heal, but that's come on, that's coincided with our dog getting earache and toothache.
Now madness takes you forever.
Which has meant for the past 2 nights he has been completely restless. You know, being upstairs and then wanting to be downstairs, being in our room, wanting to be in the bathroom, being just constantly moving. And I get it, because I've had toothache and it.
Stay still. This won't hurt.
Okay, I need to be more careful. And it can drive you potty. It can drive you up the wall.
And at the end of
but
fear.
because he's so restless, I didn't want him jumping on my poor wife while she was sleeping, and she's still healing, from the surgery. So I've been up basically for 2 nights straight, looking after the dog. In the past 48 hours or so, I've had about past 60 odd hours, I've had about 2 hours sleep.
There's no escape.
So tonight, I'm really looking forward to, hopefully, because he's not. By now, he would have been skitting about and been inconsolably restless. So I'm hoping tonight I might actually be able to get some proper sleep. That'd be amazing if we could manage that. But yeah, so the dog is going to have his a couple of teeth out on Wednesday. Wife just about recovering from that surgery, although that was by no means an easy situation. And then at the beginning of the was it? I'm thinking at the beginning of the week, was it on maybe last Sunday, Wednesday? Again, losing track of time. A few days ago, a friend of mine asked for a lift home from hospital because she had an appointment at hospital where she had an injection that meant that she couldn't drive home. And they didn't tell her this until she had arrived. So she called me with about an hour to go before she was needing a lift home, and asked, "Can you give me a lift?" I said, "Oh yeah, definitely, sure." Because I've driven her car before, except I haven't, because again it's 2020 and a year has evaporated. She has a different car now, and I knew this, but also I hadn't really seen her new car properly because of 2020. And her current car is designed for her to drive. She is very much wheelchair bound, and it has certain modifications to aid that. So she was talking me through how to drive the car, but one of the side effects of the vehicle that she had forgotten to sort of warn me about was the fact that the brake pedal is extraordinarily sensitive, to the point that even she, after a year or so of having the vehicle, sometimes brings it to a painfully sudden stop. This stops on a dime, doesn't even cover it. But yeah, she just sort of kind of forgot because she was just so happy to be going home, be able to go home. So I picked her up, and she gets in the back of the vehicle. Her wheelchair goes in the back on a ramp, and where ordinarily her driver's seat would move forward into the driving position, so she could sort of get in the chair and go forward. I'm in that chair, and she's talking me through moving the chair and starting up the vehicle, because there are buttons and switches to press and this kind of thing, because it's designed for someone whose feet aren't necessarily useful. The course of medicine that she's in has sort of rendered her lower body very weak. So she's talking me through that, and we're in the car park at the hospital. And then the first time we go to use the brake, she is thrown out of her wheelchair. It's a car park. I was driving at less than 10 miles an hour, and I have driven lots of different vehicles as well, I should say. I know how to get the feeling for a car, so I definitely wasn't being lead-footed on the brake. But she, oh, not again! But she was thrown out of her wheelchair, and this sliced her leg open on the frame that the driver's seat slides on the rails there. Now, thankfully, this was just outside the hospital, so we weren't too far from A&E, although, frankly, driving around the perimeter of the hospital in a car that every time you even thought about pushing the brake pedal came to such a sudden halt was not fun at all. But basically, this injury was so bad that the first responder, the paramedic who I went to get when we finally got to A&E, said it was probably the worst wound he had seen in a long time. I'm going to hide down here now, let him sweep past one more time. Worst wound he had seen in a long time. It was truly grim. I'm not going to describe it here because, there's no need to dwell on it too much. So instead of going home, she was hospitalised for the night, and she would have been in for a couple of nights if things had gone according to plan. If she was able to have surgery to close the wound. Sadly, because of her conditions, they couldn't do that.
Where's the cave? Come down in the shadows and see some useless sun. Anyone? No? Good.
Zaz has Dr. Young trapped in the warden's office. I've got to get out of here.
We have got to get out of here. So wife hospitalised, home from hospital, dog feeling very, very poorly, and my friend with a truly horrendous slash on her leg, essentially like a war wound in the past few days, and also very little sleep. So it's been a crazy few days, crazy 3 weeks or so. Also, at the beginning of this month, frankly, I had the the flu, so sorry, last month. So it has been absolutely bonkers. So I'm hoping tonight to be able to get some sleep. Wouldn't that be amazing? The screen gong going red reminds me of the infamous Fable 3 launch where everything went wrong. And Peter Molyneux just said, the first feature I'd like to talk about is why has the screen gone black? Yeah, Peter Molyneux, I do not have much time for him, unfortunately. I know some people like to hold on to the fact that he invented some very important games. You know, I think Frogger, I believe, was involved with that. Frogger, and obviously Fable is something. But the Milo stuff that he did for the Xbox 360, the Kinect.
Interview 6. Dr. Crane has been back in custody for 3 weeks. Regular sessions have been inconclusive. I am not sure of your actions.
Good evening, Stephen. How are you tonight?
I'm conducting the session, Jonathan.
Of course. If that helps you cope, I wouldn't have it any other way.
Let's talk about the events 3 weeks ago. What did you think you'd achieve? Dr. Murphy is still in therapy.
I wanted to understand him. His personal demons, his fears. It's all quite fascinating, really.
But you were a respected doctor. A brilliant mind. Now just another resident in Arkham.
Can I have a drink? A strong one? This kind of question bores me.
I'm afraid not.
Interesting choice of words, Doctor. Tell me, what are you afraid of?
He is absolutely an excellent liar, isn't he? I completely lost my train of thought there. Apologies. But it is an absolute.
Try and get past me, Bats, and I will fry you.
An absolute pleasure to again. I probably lost my train of thought precisely because I hadn't had much sleep in the past couple of days. Oh, I spot. Oh no! Hang on, Mister. Thank you very much. I spy
There you are.
Catwoman's goggles.
I've been waiting for you, listening to Zaz make the good doctor scream while you played around in Scarecrow's world. How was it this time?
Tech of inspection.
Anything about yourself?
Stay where you are, Batman.
Oh yes. Yeah, sorry. Let me pause it for a sec. Yeah, let me just finish that. Yes. He was an excellent liar. Sorry, for a second there, I thought you were talking about the Joker, or Scarecrow. Yes, I definitely need some sleep. Peter Molyneux, Milo was such a fraud, and some of the stuff he's done since then, like there was a mobile game that he made where one of the objects that you could buy if you wanted to cost something ridiculously, let's say £1 million or something. On the off chance that someone would be daft enough to buy it, he believed far too much of his own hype about the creation of experiences and this kind of stuff. And what's really funny? Oh no! Oh dear. Sorry. Okay.
Too easy. Played you like a violin and cut your strings.
You did, Joker.
Bats.
But it's interesting though, because in that sense, I play this game and games like this precisely for the experience. So actually, the creation of experiences is something that I treasure immensely and cherish immensely. So I've got no problem with someone wanting to do that and talking about doing that.
Still out there.
Find corner cover.
Long and you'll hear her final song.
Zaz, what are you talking about? Just kill her. She's useless to me now.
But if I kill her, the bat will get me.
No, you're not scared of a little.
Yes. There we go.
You monster! You evil, evil, evil
That's not very objective, Doctor.
He's not going anywhere.
Dr. Young.
You can stop now.
Sorry. I'm so sorry.
I saw Bane.
I know. Joker threatened me. I wanted to stop the experiment. I tried to give him his money back.
Joker doesn't take no for an answer.
He wants an army, a horrible twisted force to destroy Gotham, but he couldn't do it without the formula. I hid it, but...
So now he has Venom and your formula.
God, he has gallons of the stuff. There's a lab, hidden in the gardens. It's locked off, but the security key codes for the entire island are in the warden's safe.
What else is Joker planning?
How should I know? You think anything he says makes sense? I think he's insane. Oh my God!
Get out of the way!
Oh.
Poor Dr. Young. Still, you know how Mr. J hates a squealer. Talking about squealers.
Somebody help me!
Oh.
That old loony actually thinks he runs this place. Talk about crazy. Well, bad places to go. Get it, boys. If he gets up, knock him down, but not too rough. Mr. J needs him at the party.
I used to have a pathetic, I suppose, fascination with Catwoman when I was younger. I blame Batman Returns. Do you know, I don't blame you at all. I don't blame you at all. I think that's nothing pathetic about that. Catwoman is well worth obsessing over. I love that her name tag just says Doctor. Yes, yeah, and I do like this version of Harley Quinn. I think she's more going very heavy on the accent, and she's much more pardon me, oddly focused, you know, in that sense. But before that happened, yeah, yes. Ah. I'm wanting to investigate the room, but these guys need to deal with the folks first. Ah. It feels much more clunky, actually, interestingly, going back. I was saying this in the last live stream, going back to this game after Arkham City in particular. It's funny, the rhythm is subtly different, actually, oddly enough.
Oracle. Dr. Young is dead.
Yes, Arlene Sorkin as Harley is excellent.
Before she died, she told me there's a production plant hidden somewhere in the gardens.
The Wayne Tech security protocols seem to be hack-proof. Lucius did a good job. It's a two-part biometric sequence, apparently generated by the Warden, using a code sequencer.
And destroyed by Joker in the safe explosion. Harley Quinn has the Warden, and he's the only chance we have to get past these gates.
Okay, good luck.
Yeah, and the thing is actually it's funny because she doesn't go in on the accent quite as hard as others do. Tara Strong is a great voice actress, but her Harley Quinn voice kind of annoys me. Is Tara the person in this who does Harley in this iteration? But yes, I think it's probably it is a fine balance. Now actually on the where is it on? Is it on here as well? My love, may the secret seem like an oasis within a desert of insanity, Daddy. No, is there anything on this one? No. So there was the safe was behind a version of that plaque as well. Quite like the fireplace. Quincy shop. He really has moved in, considering he's not an Arkham, having portraits and statues made of yourself in your office. And throughout the whole site, actually. There was a statue outside of him, there was a statue inside, I think, of him, a smaller one, than the statue of Amadeus. Oh, it's Arlene Sorkin in this game. Okay, well, in that case, maybe she's going heavier on the accent than I remember from the animated series, perhaps. Now, this, interestingly, this wall here, I believe, is the location of an Easter egg that they had to I think they possibly included in with DLC or with an update, and then they had to tell people about it being there, because no, that's not it. Okay, because it's hard to find, because it contains Quincy Sharp's plans for what would become Arkham City. Oh, is it not here? Ah. Or maybe it's not included in the PC version of the game. Is that it? Could have sworn it was in here. Surely. Am I going crazy? Hang on a minute. Hang on a second. I'll pick up this. But yeah, was it Paul Dini? I think wrote Mad Love, and I've got the graphic novel sort of version of that story that made it into the animated series where Harley was introduced. And I think she's definitely a careful balancing act. Could have sworn that behind there were plans for what would become Arkham City. Maybe they're just not in the PC version. Maybe they're only in the console version. He's put 3 sprays, I think. 3. Ah, I don't think I have the. Oh, I have been doing that. So I've been warned, haven't I? Yeah. I'm glad I wasn't imagining that. I'm glad. What? Is it over here then? But yes, I didn't know about this particular secret. I had to learn about it on the internet. What a wonderful Easter egg! No. Hurly merly, hurly merly, hurly merly. Anyway, sorry, I'm delaying the Quincy staff. No? I have to look at the body first, do we? The safe? There we go. Anyway, I'm going to try one more time. It was a delight discovering it anyway, the first time I did it. And no. Oh well. There's a statue of the guy next to another portrait of him. Real egomaniac, methinks. Just the sort of person you want running the asylum. But yeah, in that sense, actually, it's really good that they managed to get Sorkin back for Harley along with Conroy and Hamill. Again, I'm pretty sure I knew that. My brain is a little bit frazzled. But there's something different, slightly different though about maybe her performance in this. But then again, this is a slightly different Harley Quinn. And in that sense, it's probably appropriate.
Maybe she likes older guys. Stop yakking, you'll ruin everything. Calm down.
Tell him to shut it. Now!
You heard that, right?
No, it was a terrible idea. Yeah.
I'd like to thank my fans for their undying
Oh, 3 times in the
support,
same
and
place,
the people
do you
of
think?
Gotham, who I will be seeing very soon.
Also, yes, she's older, so and her voice definitely would have changed over time. So, yeah, there's an element of that going on. But yes, in the animated series, I thought her the way that she essentially created what would be the oh, there's a toilet down here. Oh, I don't think I've been in here before. Oh, hello. Well, no, I must have been in here before. I've played this game a lot, but I forgot about it. Interesting. Look at that for a sink setup. The guy in the men's. Anyone in the ladies? No. Look up, and the secret room is on the left in the room with the painting. Yeah. So, should we put one on top of the other? This is the great thing about live streaming, isn't it? You can have people doing a little bit of research as you go. Okay. No. Is there maybe an upgrade where you can blow all 3 at once? Nope. And let me draw over the top of them. So there's the painting. Okay, and no. We'll come back to it. We can always come back to it. Maybe I'll do a little bit of research and look into it. Now we are approaching that we've been over the hour mark. We're approaching an hour and a half. I'll get past this room of goons, methinks, and then try and get some of that sweet sleep. If the dog does indeed stay asleep. Thing is, you got to remember as well, he hasn't slept for 2 days either, and the poor wee guy is bound to be exhausted, toothache or not. So, fingers crossed. Okay. What I'll do is I'll drop down behind this one. That's more like it, Batman. That's more like it. Two armed hostiles. Oh no! The collar! The collar! Ah! Interesting.
Bye, Beth. Mwah!
Enter a bug if it's annoying. Right. Oh dear. Just went straight past in front of that guy. Okay. So I can't just do one after the other on the floor. I need to take out one, hide in the rafters. go to investigate.
Haven't you noticed that someone's missing down there?
You heard the boss. Get over
There
here.
we go.
Everyone, on me.
Et voila! Et voila! That was fun. That's right, we're tracing Quincy's blood drops, aren't we? There's another bit there. Oh, she took him out of the building. The use of the cowl is very welcome.
Crazy bitch.
Sharpie used
Potty
the
mouth.
words. Mama spanked. Hey, Beth, you gonna join the party or what?
Okay. So look at this stuff here as well. These guys holding the lanterns. I mean, as a home, this must have been a fairly creepy place to begin with. I think out here, it's going to be quite interesting. Yeah.
As of 10 minutes ago, I have made it illegal to walk on the floor in any part of the asylum. Anyone caught doing so will be... Oh, this is stupid. Anyone caught will have their legs removed and perform magic tricks for Emperor Joker. There, I did it.
You're doing great, Sharpie. Ready for more?
Joker Asylum. Ha 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 ha. Let's see where the blood leads. Another guard down for the count. Another huge statue of Quincy. Ah, and this is clever as well. I remember.
This is the warden.
Oh.
Will all remaining Arkham staff please surrender to Joker?
Yes, of course, that's what they're going to do. But yes, I remember, and it's happened this time as well. Coming through this area, it's interesting how they're able to hide these little corners and cubbies off. So medical facility, visitor centre, penitentiary. It's recessed into the ground. It's off in a corner, and it's revealed to you as you are led there through the course of the story. Again, it's really good game design as you're tracing Quincy Sharp's blood. Now, interestingly as well, her voice does grow on you in this version of Harley. So yeah, she's always good, even if she does sound a little bit different than she did 30 odd years ago.
Did you do it? Hell yeah! You never liked her anyway.
You're cold, man. Funny thing, he said the same to me. I told him I didn't even have a sister. He just kept he's here!
Well, that was a less impactful hit than I thought it was going to be. It gently glided down next to them. Gave them a nice telegraphed landing. Yeah, I've got to get some sleep as well, I think. Willem Dafoe's fruitcake. I think I'm going to leave it there. I'll just go into the next area so I know where I'm heading next. But yeah, you take care. Good night. Sleep well. And I will attempt to do the same. Here we are. Back in the... Yes, Arkham West. where Bane and the car went off the pier a bit earlier on. Right, cool, excellent. Thank you guys for turning up for this live stream. It's been fun as ever, and I just needed just to take a bit of a break after a couple of days of fairly intense looking after the dog and other important matters, but in particular the sleepless nights with that dog. Let's see. Exit to text. There we go. As ever, guys, until next time, do take care. Bye bye, and sleep well, everyone.